Hi, how you doing? Welcome back to another video from Average FPL. Just before we get started, any likes or subscribes on the channel is greatly appreciated. Appreciate all the support. And what we're going to have for you today is just a preview of Game Week 2. So hopefully you had a great Game Week 1. Got the fixtures in front of me here. And we're just going to have a look at a couple of them, especially in relation to captaincy. So who are you going to captain for game week 2? It kind of depends on who you've got in your team. So if you've got some Man City players in your team, like Haaland or De Bruyne, then you really want to look at captaining a Man City player. The risk is that they don't play, especially against a team like Bournemouth that they're expected to beat. That is the sort of game that they will rotate on. But it's not out of the possibility of capturing someone like Cancelo, De Bruyne, or Haaland, someone that you're pretty sure is going to start and play at least a good 60, 70 minutes. Outside of Man City, it really depends on your sort of preference. If you've got Salah in your team, like a lot of people do, I think him against Crystal Palace at home is a fantastic fixture. Crystal Palace pretty solid defensively. I wouldn't expect Liverpool to score loads, apart from the fact that they drew against Fulham in the first game week of the season. So they're gonna need to win this game. So they are gonna, Salah is definitely gonna play. Absolutely no way unless he gets an injury between now and the game that he's not going to start. So I will probably be captaining Salah this week, mainly because I don't have any Man City players, but that will be shown in a second or two on my team. I would stay away from Chelsea Spurs. There's no real need, to captain any Chelsea assets or Kane or Son. Really, when you've got Man City playing Bournemouth and Liverpool playing Crystal Palace, I think even if you've got Cancelo or Trent in your teams, I think they're a reasonable captaincy option. But to be honest, I don't know why you wouldn't have either Haaland, De Bruyne, Salah, someone like that you're going to stick the captaincy on most weeks. So here's my team going into game week 2. I had a pretty solid game week 1. Got some good points from from a few players, including Son, Saka, and Salah. A couple of blanks from Jesus and Mitrovic. He scored twice, and I was talking about. I've said it in the wildcard video as well. Missed out on Mitrovic, and that was the fear that I had. But I'm not going to make any transfers this game week. I'm going to roll my transfer over. Said in my wildcard video, a lot of people like to wildcard. I kind of need a bit more to go on before I use one of my chips, especially. And the first game week for game week 1, it's kind of like a free wildcard anyway. So you wouldn't wildcard in consecutive weeks. I know we've not got the data, but you've not got much data after game week 1 anyway, other than watching, who might look like they're on form to start the season. So I don't think there's a rush to use a wildcard or transfers because you've probably set your team up for you plan to set them up for longer than game week 1. So even with the new information, trust your judgment and give them a few weeks maybe, unless you're having an absolute nightmare and you just think, "Oh, I just need to start again from scratch." But remember you can't do that every week. So if you are going to do that, you've got to make it count and be sure that's what you want to do. So this is my team. Starting in goal, I've swapped Henderson for Ward. Even if Ward's playing, I like Henderson's fixture more. He's at home against West Ham. Um, and in defence, I'm going to go for double Liverpool defence again, Trent and Robertson. I know they conceded 2 to Fulham, but hopefully that's not going to happen every week. And that was just, them getting a bit of a shock against Fulham, who were on it. And against Crystal Palace, I think they're going to need to bounce back with a win, like we said. Um, so I don't see a reason to take either of those out just yet. Same with Cancelo, Bournemouth at home, hopefully guaranteed clean sheet. That's 6 points there, maybe an attacking return. And Ben White, he got booked in his first game, but still got the clean sheet. So he just missed out on bonus points because of that booking. Hopefully he can get another solid performance in against Leicester. They are at home. Into midfield, we've got Lingard. Didn't really do much in his first game against Newcastle, but he's playing his old team, West Ham, and it's at home. Hopefully, he'll get a bit more involved. He might potentially be someone that I'm looking at moving on. But then again, I've got no funds. I've used up all my money on this team. So, it would have to be someone of 6 million or lower. I'm happy to give Lingard a bit more of an outing. The rest of the midfield speaks for itself. Son, Saka, and Salah all got returns in game week 1. Would like the chances to get returns on game week 2, and as you can see, the captaincy is 100% on Salah this week at Crystal Palace at home. Um, no questions in my mind of who to captain there. Goal and assist in his first game week. No, probably going to continue that into game week 2. And then up front, I'm giving a start to Undav. Um, hopefully he can get something in Newcastle at home. Newcastle looked pretty good in the first game, game week 1 against Nottingham Forest, but we'll see how Brighton do. Brighton are a bit more, accomplished in the Premier League than Nottingham Forest would be. They're not going to have those nerves, so they're going to take it to Newcastle a bit more. So it will also be interesting to see if any Newcastle assets are worth getting um, on as well. If they keep a clean sheet against Brighton, that'll be 2 clean sheets out of the first 2. Maybe start looking at someone like Trippier moving forward for one of my premium defenders. And Jesus rounds out the attack. Absolutely fine with Jesus. Arsenal look great in the first game week, and he's going to score sooner rather than later, I would have thought. So not a problem there. All the bench is full of the cheap players. Williams, Andreas, and Archer, all 4 million or 4.5. Took out Nottingham Forest defender, just didn't want to double up against West Ham. There's no need to. And Andreas, whilst he plays a lot, didn't get any attacking returns against Liverpool, so I quite, I like the midfielders as they are. It depends if Lingard doesn't do as well, that might be a potential swap for the future. So let me know what you think about my team. Are there any changes you'd make? I'm not using a transfer. Maybe I should. Let me know if how your team's looking for game week 2. Any support, greatly appreciated. Thank you very much for listening, and I will see you in the next one.